Here on behalf of South Azerbaijan Independence Party, I greet all of you, everyone who made time to come here today to remember 90 years old occupation of Ahwaz and South Azerbaijan that happened almost the same time. I always mention that the past and present and hopefully the future of South Azerbaijan and Ahwaz is almost same. The way we were occupied by Persian-dominated Iranian government, the way we were treated in the last 90 years, from 1920s on, is same. The persification of the Iran, destruction of the language, destruction of people as their identity, destruction of the land and ecosystem in Ahwaz, changing their names, their rivers, mountains, streets, cities, and everything to Persian. Whatever happened in Ahwaz, it happened in South Azerbaijan at the same time. And basically, depriving people of Ahwaz and South Azerbaijan from their riches under the ground. What happened? As far as I know, almost 90% of Iranian economy is run by what is under Ahwaz's foot. That's the gas and oil. It's almost second or third gas and oil reserves in the world. That's in Ahwaz. We're talking about over 200 billion barrels of oil. I'm talking about billion. And over 400, to my knowledge, if I'm wrong, they can correct me, 400 billion of gas. So that's the riches of Ahwaz. Same thing about, almost similar thing in South Azerbaijan. In every kind of mineral and oil and riches of Azerbaijan, this is stolen from under their feet, and nothing is shared. Right now, almost more than half of Ahwazi people are in absolute poverty. Over 40% of people, they can't speak Persian very well, even though so many billions are used to teach them Persian. Because 30% of first graders in the elementary school in Ahwaz, they are dropouts. 40% in middle schools, and again, we're going around 30 to 40% in high school. Because there's no opportunity for them, and they are discouraged. And Arabs are depopulated from Ahwaz, and newcomers are brought there, mostly loyal to the central government. So I want to mention again that same thing is happening in South Azerbaijan. And when we talk to you guys in person about Azerbaijan, that we are from Azerbaijan and South Azerbaijan, don't just think about the independent Azerbaijan. Because my friends, they ask me if I speak Russian. No, I don't speak language of the invaders. Even if I know, I would rather speak some common language there, such as English that I'm speaking now. So what's happening? In the future, I talk about the past and the present, what's happening in Ahwaz and in South Azerbaijan. So hopefully the future will be safe. How it will be safe? With the camaraderie and fighting together against Persian, Iranian invaders. By aligning Arabs of Ahwaz and Turks of South Azerbaijan together and moving and acting parallel and understanding that Ahwazi Arabs' interests are almost same as South Azerbaijani Turks' interests in the region. Maybe all Arabs of the world, regardless of if they are Muslim or not, maybe they have to understand too. Maybe they have to be smart enough to understand that if you want to fight with Iran and Persian-dominated Iran, you got to help South Azerbaijani Turks. You have to help Ahwazi Arabs. There's no other way. To fight Iran, you have to take the fight inside Iran. Because Iran, at this moment, is occupying many Arab lands. And that's the reality. In Yemen, in Sudan, in Lebanon, in Iraq, in Syria, right now, the Persian-dominated Iranian army is fighting. They are not just regular foot soldiers. Whoever doesn't know, I want you guys to know, they are not foot soldiers, they are commandos. They are specially trained called Sipahi Quds, the Quds army. They mean they want to reach Qudus, means Beit al-Muqaddas. They are just lying to you guys. If you guys are Muslim, and if you guys are Arab, and you think that your heart is soft enough to understand, to accept Iranian lies, they don't mean to go to Qudus. In the last 100 years, we don't have a list of any Jews or Israelis or Zionists killed by Iranian Persian government. But we have millions of Muslims or Arabs killed by Iranian government. So don't believe that. The only thing when you meet a Persian Iranian supporter, not as a person, but as a government supporter, is that not to believe them. So Arabs of the region and Turks of the region, for the last 1500 years at least, they ruled the area. Let's take our right back. And regardless of the West and Russians, they like non-Persians, non-Arabs and non-Turks to have more opportunity in the region. We have to be smart. So that's the only thing I can tell you. We have to understand that the region belongs to us, not some minorities among us to rule us. Persians are a minority in Iran. Alavis, what they call themselves Alavis, are a minority in Syria. And many minorities that ruling in our region. That's about that. Another issue, so I want to just mention one more thing. The thing is that we, South Azerbaijani Turks, and Al-Ahwazi Arabs, are strategic friends, strategic brothers, and strategic allies. Either we understand it or not. Inevitably, we have to be together. Because the geopolitics of the region tells us we have to be together if we want to win. If we don't want to win, the situation is status quo is that the world is not for us. And today's news, in last weeks and these months of news, you will hear a lot about Armenians crying to the world that some form of genocide happened to them 100 years ago. So Arab states, they have to be, the Arab parliaments, they have to be smart enough not to take side with Turks' enemies. Same as we would never take side with Arabs' enemies. Because they are, for thousands of years, they are our friends. I know that some Arab governments, same as the Palestinian Authority, published a stamp, what they are saying, commemorating 100-year-old Armenian genocide. That's completely false, that's completely lie, that's completely anti-Muslim and anti-Arab and anti-Turkish. We condemn this regardless if it's the French government or Canadian government or Canadian parliament. We condemn these kind of things. So Arab governments and parliaments, they have to be smart enough to understand that such a claim as a genocide is a legal term. And if it's a legal term, so Armenian government can go to international courts and bring their claims and open their archives and we'll talk about it. So it's not to Palestinian Authority or Lebanese government or French government or Canadian Parliament to talk about these kind of legal terms.
Let's be friends, let's understand, let's comprehend that we are strategic friends, we are brothers. And these minorities, these small issues, we should not get caught in these small issues directing from either Russia or France or any other people. They are foreigners in our lands. Middle East and Far East and Near East and Asia and Central Asia belongs to us. Always remember this, in the big scope of things, the area belongs to Arabs and Turks. We are all together. Until 1925, that Qajar Empire collapsed and Reza Khan came to power. Until that time, Qajar Empire was ruling the area as Mamalik Mahduse in Iran, and Turks and Baluchs and Arabs, they had their own authorities, and they had their own state almost, almost like a federal government of that time. What happened after that? When the Persians came, the minorities came. This is what's happening to Arabs in Ahwaz, and this is happening to South Azerbaijan. So our fate is saying, that is my last word. Our fate is saying we have to fight together against Persian-Iranian invasion. I hope for the end of the invasion. That's why I talk from my heart to you. Thank you very much. Thanks for your patience. I appreciate it.